It's Friday Night Live with Vince, pregame, postgame show. Your destination for top high school football previews and wrap-ups with Vince and his team. Buckle up and hang on for Friday Night Live. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Friday Night Live pregame show presented by the Varsity Sports Show. My name is Vince DeLisio, and so excited. Back with our old friend from UNLV in Las Vegas, Nevada, Ansley Pavicek. Ansley, so another great week of high school playoff football. Some exciting stuff. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. It looks like we have some great matchups going, so definitely going to see how these play out.
Yeah, I'm excited as well. I think it's good stuff. We've got a lot of great matchups, as you said, coming up, and we're going to be previewing those matches with our incredible team. The first thing I wanted to do was ask you a little bit about yourself, Ansley. So you are at UNLV. You're a Las Vegas native. How are you liking the school?
I actually really love it. So it gives me a great opportunity to expand and do whatever, because we actually have a great studio at Greenspun where our journalism building is, and it gives me a lot of opportunity to be behind camera, be in front of camera, be in the control room, and I have a really great mentors and a great professor in Kevin E. Martin. So I'm glad I'm at UNLV.
One of the best in the business. So good stuff. Awesome. Okay. Well, with that, let's head on up to Northern California to kind of kick things off with our very own Rodolfo Gomez and see what he's up to. Rodolfo, how are you, sir?
Good, Vince. How you doing?
You know what? Not too bad.
Absolutely.
What I wanted to do actually is since Ansley kind of kicks things off for us, I wanted to bring her back in and let her handle this interview with yourself. Ansley, take it away.
Hey, Rodolfo, how are you doing tonight?
Good, Ansley. How you doing?
I'm doing good. And, last time we talked, the playoff bracket was just beginning to was going to be put out for Sacramento. What are some games you're looking forward to seeing?
Well, there's two games I'm looking for that are going to define this bracket. It's basically going to be Folsom against Downey. That's an important matchup because Folsom is heavily favored to go their fifth straight section championship. And and also will be Grant and Edison. Grant is very important because last year they faced Folsom in the finals, and that's another contender that we will see in these upcoming days. And they're very favored also, but not as much as Folsom is. So important matches in both of these games.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you mentioned, Edison's another contender. Who do you think could give who do you think who can give Folsom some competition?
Well, let me tell you a team that is very underrated, that's not been given much attention. That would be Oak Ridge. Oak Ridge is a team that is very competitive, has not yet doesn't have any commits yet for this year. But it's a team that is very organized, very disciplined. And that's another team that could give Folsom his dues. But we will see what happens in this playoffs. This playoffs will be very competitive, and teams are looking forward to take down Folsom. That's the main goal.
Yeah, and you mentioned Oak Ridge. What makes them so disciplined?
Well, what makes it so disciplined is how well they played defensively. I think their defense what sets them apart. This year they ended up going 7-2. I think that was a key throughout the year. There was a game that they played against Rockland. The game was so tight that they ended up winning based on their defense. And I think that's important for them going into these playoffs, and that will be a defining factor for them to advance. Although they face a tough opponent in Central Catholic, which is another team from Modesto, not from this area, from Sacramento, from Modesto, 2 hours away from here. That is a very good team. So we'll see what happens. Anything can happen throughout the playoffs.
And you are right. Definitely playoffs are stuff where some of the best teams could get upsetted, and teams that you don't think will make it very far will go far. So, Rodolfo, thank you so much for catching us up on the games in Sacramento.
Absolutely, Ashley. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rodolfo. Awesome. Good stuff. It's interesting because as different as some of these areas, parts of the country are, there's a lot of commonalities with these big time rivalries, with big time recruits in different parts of particularly in Northern California, Southern California, state of Arizona, Texas, Nevada, Las Vegas, obviously. So speaking of which, we are going to go to Southern Arizona. And our very own Patrick Cohen, who is in Tucson, that he'll be on the call for big playoff game, Tucson Desert View, hosting Mountain Point. Patrick, how are you, sir?
Doing great, Vince. I'm really excited to be covering this game, as you said, between Desert View and Mountain Point. This is going to be a very exciting matchup. I'm really, really looking forward to covering this game tomorrow night.
So give us a little bit of background. What makes this such a compelling matchup?
I think one of the reasons is that Desert View so far this season has been on a tear. They are 10-0 so far in the season. They have just been unbelievable. We actually saw them face off against Canyon Del Oro just a couple of weeks ago, and they just obliterated Canyon Del Oro. It wasn't even a contest. I mean, the offense and defense for Desert View was on fire, and Canyon Del Oro could barely do anything against them. So this is going to be a very interesting matchup. I will not be surprised at all if Desert View continues their tear against Mountain Point, considering the fact that Desert View is undefeated, whereas Mountain Point is 7-4. It would be nice to see an upset, but at the same time, I'm looking at the facts on the ground right now, and Desert View looks like a very well-rounded team. They have solid offense, solid defense, solid special teams. They have solid everything. I mean, this is a team that could very well be, is almost NFL caliber. I can't believe I'm saying that. It's NFL caliber.
Big stuff. And Mountain Point driving over 2 hours for this game. Desert View putting a great product on the field this year. Individual players, stat leaders, give us whatever you know about the team.
I would say in terms of Desert View, the star has been their starting quarterback, Ryan Basso. He has just been phenomenal. When we saw him last month against Canyon Del Oro, he was just completely untouchable. Canyon Del Oro's defense could do nothing against him. Every single pass was accurate. It was complete. Very few, almost no turnovers did Basso commit, as well as the fact that Jaylee Abraham, their starting running back, was just on fire, absolutely on fire in that game the last time we saw Desert View. So I will not be surprised if they continue their tear. They absolutely obliterated Cienega 2 weeks ago. And so I will not be surprised if it's another bloodbath against Mountain Point, because Desert View is just an absolutely phenomenal team. Their offense is clicking. Their defense is clicking. Their special teams are clicking. It's just amazing, the squad that has been put together by head coach Robert Benias. It's just incredible. I mean, Coach Benias, he has a very, very well-disciplined team. And so any school that faces off against Desert View, they should be intimidated by them, because, everything that Desert View does, they execute with military precision.
Wow, very impressive. And to hear that about Tucson Desert View. And by the way, guys, you're going to see these QR codes pop up here periodically throughout the show. If you scan this code, this will take you right to Desert View versus Mountain Point, the football game broadcast. So anyway, Patrick Cohen, good luck on the call. Thanks so much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing how things play out.
All right. I look forward to being on the call, Vince.
Okay. Take care. All right, Ansley. Wow. So some big words there and big prediction with Tucson Desert View hosting Mountain Point, making the 2-hour drive south to Tucson from Ahwatukee. And we're going to send it back out to your neck of the woods, to Las Vegas, Nevada, where we've got another Bishop Gorman game that we are broadcasting, and our very own Marla Mundo with Ansley. Take it away, Ansley.
Hey, Marla, how are you?
I'm good, Ansley. How are you?
I'm good. I mean, we all know how dynamic Bishop Gorman's offense is. What do you think Foothill can do to stop them?
Honestly, I don't think it's what Foothill can do on offense. What they can do on defense to stop Faith Lutheran's Bishop Gorman's offense. It's what their defense can do against their offense. So what I'm saying is Foothill's offense needs to keep up the pace against Gorman's offense, and they don't need to turn the ball over because a lot of Gorman's points come after their defense recovers a turnover. So really, it's their Foothill's offense needs to be almost perfect to win that game.
I mean, you mentioned perfect. You mentioned no turnovers, but what else can they do to be perfect on offense?
Well, they've just got to get longer plays and longer drives because Bishop Gorman plays at a higher pace than most high schools in this valley. I know you know that, and I know that they play at such a fast pace. They score, I believe, you called that game against Mojave. They scored 21 points in the first 6 minutes. Yeah. So if Foothill wants to win this game, they have to pace out this game. They need to be on offense more of the time if they're up.
I mean, you mentioned, but what can Foothill? I mean, I don't think no one can stop Bishop Gorman. We both seen that. But what do you think Foothill can do to provide that upset if there is an upset?
So they've got multiple different players who were in 5A Division I, like all first team mentioned. So Braxton Bonnet, he's one of the wide receivers for Foothill. He averages 110 receiving yards per game, which is crazy. And then he also has, I believe, 12 touchdowns on the year. And then their quarterback, his name is Ryder Dobbs, and he has 23 passing touchdowns on the year. He's just a sophomore too. I've seen him play once this season against Liberty. He plays lights out. So they really need a big game from him and their wide receiver, Braxton Bonnet.
And how do you think those two can help get Foothill get going to set the tone early in the game?
Yeah, they just to start early. They need some good points on special teams. Braxton Bonnet, he plays little special teams. He'll kick return, he'll punt return. So he needs to have nice long gains on kick returns and punt returns and to not fumble the ball. That's something we see a lot at this high school level is when teams fumble the ball when they're on special teams because they're thinking about running before they even catch the ball.
Definitely. And let's see if Foothill can keep up with Gorman's dynamic offense. Marla, thank you so much for covering the game, and I hope you have a great time.
Yeah, thank you, Ainsley.
Thank you.
Awesome. Marla's been great all season for us. And Marla Mundo covering the Bishop Gorman Foothill game. And as we head on out, we are going to take it out to the first round in Arizona of the Open. Mountain View High School hosting Centennial with Keithan Thomas. Keithan, how's it going?
It's going great, Vince. This just talking about the game. This is probably the most excited I've been to call a game thus far. There's so much.
Why? Tell me why.
Well, okay, let's start simple, right? So this is a rematch of the 6A championship from last year, Centennial and Mountain View, where Centennial from the 14 seed came all the way back and defeated Mountain View. Now, these two teams both share similar DNAs, both high-powered offenses, and they don't really allow a lot of points. On Mountain View side, we've talked to death about the greatness of Brady Goodman, and what I would say is the top wide receiving core in the state of Arizona in Ziggy Galaviz, Talon Arnett, and Teo Weeks, all incredibly dynamic players. But then on the flip side with Centennial, their offensive line is bookended by two D1 commits in Benjamin Lothar going to Stanford, which is a huge program, and then Ty Gates, who is committed to New Mexico. So it's going to be a crazy game. It's going to be what I predict to be a little bit of a track meet. It's going to be very, very interesting to see what goes on there.
You mentioned Centennial last year as a 14 seed. They were, as far back as I can remember, the only 3-7 team to run the table in the postseason and win a state championship. And
it's unbelievable to even think that, especially with like how the playoffs have been set up, there's a lot of 4-6, 3-7, 5-5 teams whose season you thought would be done and dusted. But Centennial is a program that is known to be a very successful program. They flipped the script this year, 7-3. They actually outplaced Mountain View in terms of record. Mountain View's coming in at 6-4, but in terms of strength of schedule, Mountain View will be hosting this game, which will be a little bit of an interesting spin. Let's see if the Toros can potentially take advantage of that. One thing I will mention, or I think will be a factor, Mountain View has struggled a little bit at the beginning of the games where they've lost, especially to their big opponents, Liberty, Basha, Red Mountain. They had a little bit of a slow get up out of the gate. So that's something I'm watching for tonight to see if Mountain View can start off strong. And if they can, I would foresee them taking a very big lead to start and then taking the rest of the way through.
Keith, and if I'm not mistaken, you're an alum.
A little bit. Is my bias showing? Is my bias showing just a little bit?
Just a tad.
Just it's sad. Listen, I would love to see my Toros win a state championship. It's been too long. It's been a little too long. I would like to see the campus of champions be champions once more.
Awesome. Well, there you have it. Keith and Thomas on the preview of the open first round. Mountain View hosting Centennial, a rematch of last year's 6A state championship game. So, Keithan, thanks again. Good luck on the call, and we'll circle back with you a little later on.
Of course. Have a good one.
All right. Guys, we're going to take it to a commercial break. We'll be right back here on Friday Night Live pregame show. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Hello, Varsity Sports Show family. I'm Tommaso Perez from ASU. Join me as I bring you inspiring sports stories and updates from our Catholic schools, where faith, tradition, and athletics come together. Catch me live on KDOS 1060 AM Saturdays from 9 to 11 and during Varsity Sports Show game broadcast.
The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe, with an experience so good it remains indescribable, with something for every seafood lover. Try one of their amazing custom seafood boils, sandwiches, appetizers, and salads. Angry Crab Shack Tempe is located east of I-10 on Warner Road, 480-674-3847. The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe. Come ready to eat.
Hey guys, good afternoon. Valley Sports and Phoenix metro area. My name is Jorge Anwajardo. Let me introduce myself. I'm currently a graduate student at Arizona State University, and I'm also a Navy vet. I'm hoping to bring the Valley the hard-hitting sports coverage that Phoenix deserves. From high school Friday night lights to playoff pressure, I'll deliver the facts, the stats, and the stories that matter to all Valley sports fans.
Hey guys, Vince here to talk about Angel Dentistry. It's where my wife and I have gone for over 10 years, and we trust them with our routine and extensive dental care because they care. Dr. Amber Angel is an Arizona native, born in the town of Miami, and has been practicing in the Valley over 20 years. For general to comprehensive dental services, call 602-788-2008. Located off of Cave Creek Road just north of the 101 in North Phoenix. Angel Dentistry, proud supporters of our young people and proud partners of the Varsity Sports Show.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our pregame live show. I'm here with Greg Graves, who is covering Queen Creek and South Point Catholic. Greg, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. Excited for tomorrow. How are you?
I'm good. And can you just give us a little behind the scenes about the matchup?
Yeah, I mean, Queen Creek is a team I've seen and covered a lot. They're a team who's just fought hard all season. Their quarterback went down early in the season, and so they've relied on the sophomore, but they're a gritty team, a lot of players. It'll be a home game. And then on South Point Catholic side, they're coming from Tucson, so it's a long trip, but they're a solid team who have played, quite a schedule, competing with two teams who are competing in the open division. So pretty impressive.
Yeah, and then can you give us some players that can make an impact on for both teams?
Yeah, when you look at Queen Creek, I mean, like I said, a bunch of gritty guys. They got Bear Fisher, who's their big tight end, biggest guy on the field. David Rawson, the senior, a lot goes through him. I mentioned earlier Sawyer Hales, the sophomore quarterback. A lot of just young talent, but performing at a high level. And if you look at South Point Catholic, Brian Melton is one of their best players on the defensive side of the ball. And then, of course, their offense runs through Chris Cheney, the 75.5 rushing yards per game on the season so far.
And how do you think their South Point's running back can help South Point get the upset on the road?
Yeah, in a game like this, running the ball is always so important. They want to control the clock and just control possession. So as long as they're able to move the sticks with their premier running back, I mean, they can kind of control the whole tempo of the game.
And how do you think Queen Creek can stop that dynamic running?
Yeah, I mean, Queen Creek has the advantage. They're at home. They're a battle-tested team who have fought hard all season long. They've had games probably not going the way coaches would want, of course, but as long as they feed on the home crowd and rely on their stars of their own team, then I think Queen Creek could pull this one through.
All right. Thank you so much, Greg, for covering the game. I hope you have a great time out there.
Of course. Thank you.
Awesome. Greg Graves and Queen Creek hosting South Point Catholic. So we've got one team in Mountain Point going down to Tucson. We got another one coming up in South Point Catholic. So should make for a compelling matchup in 6A with Queen Creek hosting. And taking it right along, we are going to continue and head into Scottsdale for Horizon. And let's welcome aboard Niall Rosenberg. Niall, what do you got for us?
I mean, this is going to be one heck of a game, Vince. I've been to a couple Horizon games now. I've had the chance to call them. And, man, if you can get those two running backs going, Bodie Zamorano and Dylan Brush, it's going to be a great time for your offense. And just this entire Horizon team, it's all the crowds that they bring there with the running out with the Husky out of the tunnel. It's an exciting time for that Horizon team. And they go against a very difficult Notre Dame prep. This one guy I got for you, Vince, Nate Jones, 23.5 tackles for loss this season. I mean, what a player, what a good defensive guy. And on the same time, for Notre Dame prep, they have a fantastic running back, Decker Haskins-Smith, who's been really solid this season. I mean, on offense, he's been rushing for over 1,000 yards. It's 1,120. And I mean, it'll be a trenches battle that will be very exciting to call.
I want to know, this is not the first time they played this season, and the last one was quite an exciting finish. Give us kind of a quick recap of that one.
Yeah, I mean, when you have a triple OT game, what more do you want out of a football game? I mean, these two teams are extremely close. That's how close they are, triple overtime. And it was a battle of these running backs. I mean, Zamorano had 82 yards. Landon Stitch on the other side for Notre Dame prep had 3 touchdowns with 90 yards. And so just absolute chaos, high scoring. We'll see if it happens again. But, man, just talking about it now fires me up.
Well, not only that, there's a phenomenal freshman running back for the Horizon Huskies as well that's been making a splash this season in relief of the senior Zamorano.
Yeah, Dylan Brush has been absolutely fantastic this season. I mean, he normally, the first couple games I called of them, he would come in those fourth quarter situations where, he's not needed. They'll just have him go. And then when Brush is able to get activated like he has been all season, he's been fantastic. I mean, he leads the team in rushing touchdowns, right? He's got 9 to Bodie's 8. And so he's someone who, for the next couple of years, Horizon high school fans, Husky fans, you're going to love him.
Awesome. Well, there you have it. Niall Rosenberg. Niall, good luck on the call. Horizon, Notre Dame Prep, Part 2. So looking forward to this one, and we'll let you go, and we look forward to a recap. So thanks again, Niall.
Of course. Thank you very much.
All right. There you have it. Ansley, so coming up, we are going to take it out to Gilbert, Arizona, with our very own Greg Zabert. Take it away, Ansley.
Hey, Greg, how are you doing tonight?
I'm well. How about you?
I'm doing good. I mean, man, Gilbert North has been amazing this season. How do you think they can use that momentum heading into this playoff game?
Yeah, I like that you talk about the momentum that they have. They currently are on a 6-game win streak in which all of their wins have been by more than 20 points. This is a team taking a ton of momentum in there. They've been playing some fantastic defensive football. They held Mountain Point to only 3 points in their last game. That was 2 weeks ago in the regular season because they got the bye week last week due to the fact that the 2 seed. This is a defense that's averaging almost 2.5 turnovers a game. They picked the ball off really well, forced a lot of fumbles. They're just a really, really complete defensive team, and I think that's going to be their key to victory against Mountain View. Yeah.
And then who are some players that we should look out for both teams?
Yeah, I'll start on ALA Gilbert North since we were talking about them. I think that they've got a great wide receiver quarterback duo in Ben Livingston and Isaac Massey. Livingston currently has 26 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions. He's having a fantastic season. And then Massey has been just a fantastic red zone option. 700 yards is decent, but 13 touchdowns is really incredible. This is a duo that everybody should be looking for when ALA gets down to the 20, that type of situation, because that connection's been really good there. And then on the defensive side of football, guys like Stockton and McKinney are some of their stars. Gavin McKinney has 14 tackles for loss and 10 sacks, a couple of forced fumbles as well. And then Dye, the defensive back, has 5 interceptions. This is a really, really complete ALA Gilbert North team. On the other side of things, Mountain View is not necessarily as complete of a team, but they certainly have just an incredible running back in Drake Davis. Drake Davis currently has 1,423 yards, had a great game last week in the win against Buena when Mountain View was able to kind of win the wild card game. I guess you could put it that way. So 1,400 yards on the season. He's averaging 7.3 yards per carry and has 12 touchdowns to his name. He's fantastic, and he's kind of, if ALA Gilbert North has Massey and Livingston in the red zone, they have Davis in the red zone. This is just a team that is fully bent on the run, and I expect them to use that a lot. So that's what I'll expect for tomorrow, a big running game from Mountain View.
Yeah, and then you look at Mountain View in that running game. How do you think they can exploit that you mentioned they have Gilbert has a really nice defense. How do you think Mountain View can exploit that defense?
I think it's going to be a really difficult game for Mountain View to win if they purely rely on the run. I think that some of this success has got to be bent on their quarterback, and Bryn, the senior. He's only thrown 83 passes so far this season, and he's been the quarterback every single game. This is a passing offense for Mountain View that has 442 passing yards to this season. They have very, very rarely used the passing play, and I think – early on in the game, I think that they should use kind of a strategy. Just try to catch ALA off guard. Maybe run some passing plays, try to hit something downfield, maybe run a trick play. Because if you just start with the run and try to just drill that all game, it's going to be really difficult to come back if you get down early. So, yeah, I think just kind of mix it up. Obviously, easier said than done. You have a quarterback who's pretty inexperienced in terms of how he's played this season. But, yeah, that's my 2 cents. Mix it up, get some different plays in.
Yeah, definitely try and trick that Gilbert North defense. Greg, thank you so much for covering the game, and I hope you have a great time out there.
Thank you.
Awesome. Greg Zaber and ALA Gilbert North and Marana Mountain View. Okay, with that, we are going to send it out to Desert Edge, West Valley, hosting Tucson, Vail, Cienega, and Ethan Troll. Ethan, what do you got for us?
Well, you're sending me back to my alma mater with Desert Edge, and this team is ranked the 5th best team in the state for a reason. I'm not trying to sound biased, but again, when you look at their roster and the talent that they have on both sides of the ball, they have a lot of 3, 4, 5-star recruits, and one of those 5-star recruits is sophomore defensive lineman Jelani George, who's ranked as the best pass rusher in the state and the country. So that alone tells you what this roster is about. And then Cienega, they're coming in as massive underdogs, but they came out of Sunny Slope with a huge win, and their quarterback Julian Hanley had 424 passing yards and 7 total touchdowns, 4 through the air and 3 on the ground. So I know people might seem like Desert Edge is going to dominate this game, but we've seen a lot of surprises throughout the season. So keep an eye on Cienega. They can pull it off.
In terms of the weapons that Cienega bring to the table throughout their season, have they gone to the well with a few of consistent guys? Has it been some new stars each time? I mean, how's that been from what you've noticed in your scouting reports?
So based on last season, they've completely flipped their offense. They were really run heavy through a lot of last season. They had 1,800 rushing yards in total. And then now this season, they haven't even gotten close to 1,000 rushing yards, but the air raid attack has done really well for them, especially from wide receiver Jaden Rogers. He just surpassed 1,000 receiving yards from his performance last week against Sunny Slope. He had 6 catches for 189 yards and 2 touchdowns, which is his best performance of the season, which including the playoffs. And then also Aiden Billings, he has 611 yards on the season and 13 touchdowns leading the team. So with those two guys being very consistent, they've been able to put up a good amount of points and be able to be consistent through the air.
Amazing. It's going to be a heck of a shootout tomorrow, out at Desert Edge with Desert Edge hosting Cienega. Big game. And looking forward to it. Excited to get you on the call. Thanks so much, Ethan Troll. Nice work.
Of course. Thank you, Vince. Have a good night.
All right. Guys, we'll be right back here after the break on Friday Night Live pregame show. Don't go anywhere.
The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe. With an experience so good it remains indescribable, with something for every seafood lover. Try one of their amazing custom seafood boils, sandwiches, appetizers, and salads. Angry Crab Shack Tempe is located east of I-10 on Warner Road, 480-674-3847. The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe. Come ready to eat.
What's up, everybody? It's Rob Blackley, Medicine in Motion, out here in Paris. We're here at the Roland Garros.
All right, you guys. So back here for Friday Night Live pregame show with Ansley Pavlicek. Ansley, going to be an exciting night of high school football. Looking forward to it. Also looking forward to the postgame wrap on our postgame report at 10 p.m. Coming back and hearing from those same field correspondents and a few more of some other games. So any final thoughts on the games?
Well, I think it's going to be interesting. I gotta head it up back to NorCal and in Sacktown because Folsom is looking for that 5-peat, but there's some other other competitors I would like to take it from them. So
okay, well there you we'll definitely get Rodolfo's take on it when he comes back and gives us a post-game report. So on behalf of our amazing team, all the great games out there tonight. And our very own co-host from the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, Ansley Pavlicek. My name is Vince Delicio. Thanks again for tuning in to the Friday Night Live pregame show. We'll see you after the games. Take care.
It's Friday Night Live with Vince, pregame, postgame show. Your destination for top high school football previews and wrap-ups with Vince and his team. Buckle up and hang on for Friday Night Live.